Peace to everyone. As you know, Jussie Smollett, the actor of Empire, has been charged with 16 counts of making false reports, staging a hoax of a kidnapping, and other things. And just a reminder, there are words I cannot pronounce, so please do not judge me because I know there are words you cannot pronounce. Actor Jussie Smollett pleaded not guilty in court Thursday to accusations that he staged a hate crime and filed a false police report. So he was pleaded not guilty. So, yes, today in court. The Empire actor, 36, was arraigned before Judge Stephen Gregory Watkins, and his attorney entered the formal not guilty plea on his behalf. Watkins agreed to allow Jussie Smollett to travel to California and New York to meet with his lawyers and set his next hearing for April 17th. So Jussie Smollett is going to be allowed to travel to California and New York to meet with his lawyers and set his next hearing for April 17th, which kind of in a way is a little bit good, but not too much. Even though the judge is still not going to trust him because of what he has done or whatever. Gloria Schmidt, the attorney for the brothers allegedly involved in the incident, was also seated in the courtroom. So both of the brothers that were accused of doing this, they were in a courtroom today. Smollett also was in court Tuesday for a hearing to determine whether a judge should allow cameras in court. His legal team said it welcomed cameras due to what it describes as misinformation leaked to the media since Smollett reported being attacked in January. And of course, you know, the mainstream media is a bunch of liars, and since you want to believe everything they say on in the mainstream media, then you're just as crazy as they are because they've been putting out false news every single day, and they still do. And even though they've been exposed so many times, and the mainstream media is still pulling out false news. There has been a lot of misinformation in this case that has been presented as fact and evidence against Mr. Smollett, which is demonstrably false, said Tina Gladden, the attorney for the actor. So the mainstream media did put out a false news, and it was a misinformation. We welcome cameras in the courtroom so that the public and the media can see the actual evidence and what we believe is actually going to be the lack of evidence against Mr. Smollett. And we look forward to complete transparency and the truth coming out. So hopefully the truth will come out, even though I don't know, they're saying that there's probably not enough evidence to charge Mr. Smollett of any crime or whatever. Smollett has been indicted on 16 felony counts of disorderly conduct by a Cook County grand jury. So the grand jury has indicted him for 16 felony counts of disorderly conduct, and that's pretty serious, but it shouldn't be that serious for him. Mark Geragos, one of the Smollett's attorneys and a CNN legal analyst, said the actor maintains his innocence and called the indictment prosecutorial overkill. Well, first of all, CNN is a bunch of lying rats, and of course, they're getting sued by somebody else right now, so you can't trust CNN. Don't trust them because they lie too much. And as for Mr. Smollett's attorney, he is maintaining his innocence like the lawyer said he's going to do. The redundant and vindictive indictment is nothing more than a desperate attempt to make headlines, Geragos said. So the mainstream media, they're just putting out false news to make themselves look good and to make headlines. And it's kind of ridiculous and stupid what the mainstream media is doing. Yes, they are liars. And it's just sad that these people of the mainstream media is lying about everything. And you got to look beyond the mainstream media, see what the real truth is. Smollett reported to police in January that he had been attacked in Chicago in an incident that ended with a noose around his neck. Police initially investigated the case as a possible hate crime. So there's a chance that it was possibly a hate crime, and of course there was a noose around Jussie's neck by the brothers that have done it. And of course, they pretty much have said bad things to him. The counts in the indictment obtained by CNN say Smollett gave statements to a Chicago police officer after the incident and to a detective. Details in some of those statements were different, the indictment says. So Jussie Smollett gave statements, and of course, the police officer and detective, of course, CNN, they're going to twist words around and say, oh, well, Mr. Smollett said this and that. And, CNN, like I said, is a bunch of liars, and they're just as dirty as anything. The indictment says Smollett told police he was attacked around 2 a.m. by two men who used racial and homophobic slurs. I kind of find that a little hard to believe. I mean, the indictments, they're not exactly reliable, but it is what it is, but I find them not true at all. After police detained two brothers who were persons of interest in the case in mid February, police sources revealed that authorities suspected Smollett knew the men and allegedly had paid them $3,500 to stage the attack. The men were released without being charged. $3,500 really? To stage an attack. Boy, oh boy, Chicago police are crooked as ever. And I've done enough research on them and still continuing to research on them. They are trying to get Mr. Smollett um, thrown into jail, but this is beyond that too. It's all propaganda stuff and everything, and believe me, I don't deal with ritual numbers. That's not my department. I just put out what I could put out. Smollett has denied any involvement in orchestrating an attack. He was charged in February with felony disorderly conduct. The judge granted a $100,000 bail, and Smollett paid a $10,000 bond. He was ordered to give up his passport and will remain under supervision until his case is adjudicated. So Smollett was in jail, was in jail, I guess, and then he had a disorderly conduct, and the bail was $100,000. He only paid 1/10 of that bail, which is $10,000. Like any other citizen, Mr. Smollett enjoys the presumption of innocence. Particularly when there has been an investigation like this one where information both true and false have been repeatedly leaked. Given these circumstances, we intend to conduct a thorough investigation and to mount an aggressive defense, Smollett's attorneys said in February. So they're pretty much going to be a whole lot of investigation. They're going to make it thorough for every single detail that's in this case. The subsection of the Illinois state law states a person commits disorderly conduct when he or she knowingly transmits or causes to be transmitted in any manner to any peace officer, public officer, or public employee. A report to the effect that an offense will be committed is being committed or has been committed, knowing at the time of the transmission that there is no reasonable ground for believing that the offense will be committed, is being committed, or has been committed. So there, of course, as you can see here, what the Illinois law states about the with the disorderly conduct and what you need to know. Empire producers decided to remove Smollett's character Jamal from the final two episodes of the season. The decision was made to avoid further disruption on set, producers said. So they had no choice but to remove him from the two episodes that were going to be left for Empire until all this gets straightened out. And of course, they don't want no further disruption on the set by Jussie Smollett or by the courts. And it's going to be real sad to see him not on those two episodes of Empire, which I thought started this week, and I was wrong because I checked. So yeah, it's just sad that Jussie Smollett is going through this, and of course, they hopefully all this will get straightened out. Um, if you have any thoughts about this, please let me know in the comments below. I am out.